It's time for Class Racing Today, the podcast for the NHRA Class Racing fan. Welcome back to Class Racing Today. It has been quite the summer. ClassRacingToday.com. ClassRacingToday at gmail.com. On the social medias, the Class Racing Today. Brian, it's been a summer so far. It's been almost 2 months since there was a live episode of this show. What's been going on in your world, Brian?
It's, man, where did summer go? Like, I remember being excited about racing, and it was winter, and it was cold, and we were getting ready for St. Louis, and it's like, it's going to be cold again. I don't know what happened.
Bobby, you're in the guest house? Is that right?
Yes. I'm in the condo here.
Excellent.
In New Jersey, Margate City, New Jersey.
Now, you have been running about the East Coast most of the summer, chasing cars around racetracks, drag strips. Give us a little rundown briefly. I know you've been doing some flash news quite a bit to keep people updated as we go throughout the summer, but break down kind of how that's been.
Well, it's been sort of a busy summer for me. As you remember, I was trying to race a little bit in June. I couldn't. I got married there at the end of June, and then July and August have been like kind of crazy. I hit a couple races in New Media. I hit the Class Racer Nationals at New Media. Broke one car, started driving in another car, went out to Indy to run the U.S. Nationals in Super Stock, and it was a great trip, and I had a lot of fun, but didn't fare too well on the racing side of things. And then came back to Maple Grove to run this national event, kind of with our tail between our legs. And then I had the greatest weekend of my life this past weekend.
We'll get into that later.
Yeah.
Brian, you were able to attend your first national event this summer as well, correct?
Yeah, I would say definitely not my last. We went to the Brainerd Divisional and first pass qualifying. Yeah, I had a engine malfunction.
Oh.
So that was kind of a huge letdown, but I owe a thank you to my good friend and mentor, old Johnny McLaughlin, because Brainerd's about 4.5 hours from South Winnipeg, where he lives, up in North Dakota, and I'm kicking rocks about 8 o'clock at night because, it was first pass down the track. All of a sudden, I lost some oil pressure and came back and took the oil filter off and went next door to my neighbor, the very talented Lance Lyon, and cut the oil filter apart, and he said that's not good. So I was kicking rocks and disappointed, and like, first national event, don't have a car, and John's like, we can go get the wagon. So about 9:30 at night, we shoved my trailer out into the sandbox and headed to North Dakota to pick up the old 2-ton tomato, which was a little interesting. Being the old diehard Mopar guy, it was kind of cool to have a Mopar back in the trailer, but it was funny because I'm 6'2", and I'm not sure how tall the McLaughlin family is, but John's significantly shorter, and his daughter Breezy, who had been driving the station wagon, was even shorter yet. So as I crawled into the station wagon to back out of his garage, my knees were literally in the steering wheel. I think the steering wheel was almost touching my chest. We got it out, put it in the trailer of the car, which was interesting because, yeah, you're not opening the door and getting out of that thing in my trailer. So I actually had to crawl all the way over the back seat, all the way out the back of the wagon and out the back seat, or out the back window, which it's funny being in that large a car. Like, it's a long ways from the front seat to the back window to get out of that thing. I will say that. But got her back to the track Thursday while everybody was racing. What was that? Yeah, it would have been while everybody was racing the divisional. We were taking the blocks off of the pedals so she could reach the pedals and sliding the seat back as far as it'll go and trying to make it so a adult could drive it. And yeah, I would have liked to have a couple passes in it because it was a little different than the Camaro. We're running 12s instead of 10s, but all in all, it was really cool. I'd like to get another chance and get a little more seat time in there. My lights were absolutely terrible because it's leaves a little different than I'm used to in the Camaro, and apparently I'm just a crappy reaction type person anyways, but it was fun. First round, got to race class for the first time. That was pretty cool. Unfortunately, I had to go into the combo, so I had to race one of those really fast, under-factored front-wheel drive cars, and I got spanked. But that was my first pass. And every time we went down the track, we got better, so that was pretty cool. Got to race first round of my first national event. I get to race one of my good friends, Paul Marola, who is just a killer anyways. And I was excited because it was the first time we'd raced, but not excited enough to be able to cut a light. And yeah, he ended up beating me. And the funny thing is we were 90 degrees. The air was just terrible all week. We roll into first round eliminations at the national event, and it's roughly 20 degrees colder than it'd been. And I'd been running like 1240s, 1242, 1245, like 3 rounds in a row for qualifying and for class. And like, all right, I told John, what do you think the car's going to run? He goes, well, it's going to pick up maybe a tenth and a half if you drive it right, because I'd been just struggling with hitting the shift points and everything. It was just a total different feel. And so I'm like, well, we'll dial 32. And if I do it right, I'm holding some. If I don't, that's what it's going to run. Yeah, not even close. I think it ran at 26. I broke out. Paul broke out. And my light was so terrible that it didn't really matter. I didn't deserve to win. But, like walking around, seeing fans everywhere, like just people in the whole atmosphere of the national event was probably what was really cool. Like, I drove the worst I've drove probably in 3 years, and that part sucked, but just the cool, like walking around, going through the midway and seeing that. I can definitely see why you like going on that thing, Bobby, because it was a really cool experience. Got to hang out with the Holtz all weekend. They were super cool and their hospitality was off the charts. Just great people. The Cottons, it was kind of like a family reunion, getting to see all those people again and getting to meet some people that I've never met. J-Rod and all those guys were super helpful. Like, what can we do to help? And I don't know, it was really cool. It makes me see there may be something to the NHRA side. Like I said, the whole national event divisional thing was really cool. It was just giving the scenario and the mindset that I was in after I broke my car first round. It definitely was still very memorable and very fun. I'll definitely go back. It's on my list now. I was actually so excited, Bobby. I signed up for the St. Louis national event, but no, I don't have a car. I had to pull out of that. But
well, I heard J-Rod was telling me that they had a car for you to borrow if you wanted to come out to Indy. Maybe they'll let you borrow that for another race that they'll be at.
Well, I will. I was excited, but I will say I'm a little hesitant after my last loaner car, thinking like I lost all faith in my ability to be able to drive. I'm not sure if I'm just that bad on the tree, or I've learned how to bring my car up, because I can be double O's very consistently in my car, and then I'm in the wagon, and I can bring the car to where I need to be in my spot in the tree instead of first round of a national event. It's not like, hey, let's try something different. Like that's
yeah, well, you just went from two totally different, areas of the spectrum there with your car versus that wagon. That was probably what, a 3,800-pound wagon, and you probably couldn't leave as high and as hard as you do in your car, I guess.
Yeah, I was rolling across the scale at like 4,200 pounds.
Oh my goodness, 4,200.
It's funny when you go across the scale. It's just like me when I wake up in the morning, I'm like, oh, what do I weigh this morning? You get on the scale and you go, damn. That's what the scale people were doing when I rolled across in the wagon, which the funny thing is I drove around the Camaro, and been racing now for 2 years with that car. Nobody takes my picture. Like, it's not like, hey, look, there's a 2000 Camaro. No, it's just like, oh, they think I'm like some spectator that's lost driving around out in the pits. When you're driving around on the 2-ton Tomater, it's like Bigfoot running around with you. Like, people are dropping their stuff, taking their picture. So it was fun to run the Mater. I'd like a little more seat time in it before to go back out there again. But the problem was it was really hard to cut a light when you go to bring your foot off the brake, like to go to launch. and my knee would ram right on the steering wheel. Like I could only get my knee about 2 inches off, lift off the pedal about 2 inches, and I was in the steering wheel. So it was really hard to be aggressive there. And I told John, can't I just take a hacksaw and cut like a bottom quarter of the steering wheel off so I got room for my gargantuan knee to come up past the. But no, it was just it was really awesome. Definitely glad I did it. You know, thanks to everybody that was there that helped out, and I'll definitely.
You had an exciting story on the way to the track, didn't you? Or you didn't, but you helped somebody on the way to the track. Didn't you help the Holtz out?
Yeah, that was
you
know, I'm trying to getting stuff ready, and all of a sudden I'm, you know, messaging back with them because I was gonna we were gonna pit together and do this whole thing and try to do some live shows and stuff. But I'm going, and believe they made it to Bloomington, and somebody pulled out in front of Stan, who obviously had to get on the brakes pretty hard, and poor J-Rod following. I shouldn't tell this story without making sure it was okay with him, but that's okay. They'll be okay with it now. So J-Rod ends up running into the back of Stan's toter home trailer, the stacker trailer, and completely tears off the end gate on the freeway in Bloomington. So they're like, Sheila's like, oh, we're in the parking lot of, I think it was like an REI, trying to get the tailgate modified to get back on the trailer so they can get there. And I reached out to Mike Mans, who's the guy that worked on that? They would know. I don't remember the guy, but the guy that actually built Mans's trailer lives in that area. So he went over there, and they got him to the shop, and they completely rebuilt a whole tailgate on the back of their stacker trailer so they could get to the race. And that was just cool. You know, it's not a big deal. Racers helping racers, right? Like, you don't even really think of it as helping, but it's just putting people in the right connections. And it was cool that everybody kind of jumped in together and made it happen and got him going again.
That's cool.
Pictures are pretty hilarious. So, you know, J-Rock can fix anything when he's out in the parking lot with a grinder trying to rebuild the lift or the rear tailgate of the trailer so they can go racing. Like, that guy's just a absolute magician with tools. And
yeah,
so,
he's a hell of a driver too.
Yeah, no kidding. It was definitely fun to watch that. When then they got all back together and got to the track, and it was just like, yeah, it happens. You know, just calm. Like, it was really cool how all that worked out. Well, then it was even better yet. So I helped them, but yet I didn't want them to get helped too fast because I actually parked in a spot that was reserved for J-Rod. So I got a good parking spot out of the deal too. I just had to hold them up just long enough to where I could get a better spot to park out in the pits. But no, it was I'm kind of wondering too, isn't there like a hard luck award? I kind of feel they got shafted on that national event because I think if people would have known that story, they would have definitely driving up from Houston having to rebuild their trailer when they're almost to the track. That should have got a hard luck award in my mind. But
yeah, the Never Rest award. I think that's that award that they give out, right?
Yeah, I think they probably should have been a shoe-in for that. But
oh yeah,
that's okay. Their stories of it'll be actually the best part. Is you have to ask them about their first trip to Minnesota. But no, it was really cool. Got to see talk to Joe Santangelo a little bit. Man, that guy's just a machine. Man, he even ran good this weekend. So I mean, it was kind of neat to get to race with people we don't normally race with. Even our local guys were right in the hunt. I mean, it was really cool. I'm definitely going to go back. Unfortunately, my car's done for the year. I've looked at a million different ways to try to piece it back together, and I want to do it right if I'm going to do it. And I got a building project. I actually don't even have a shop as of here in about 2 weeks to work on anything. So car's still sitting in the trailer where it went when I left. And once I get my new building project, which we've been rain and hail, and that's all been put off 3-4 weeks here. So we're busy trying to get that project started. And I've just kind of decided my racing is over for the year. And this winter we'll rebuild and come at it again next year.
Sounds good. Get on it.
I think we need to find we need to figure out what the last race or last 2 races of the year are where the crew's all going to be at, and we'll just fly down and do a live show from the track. Indy just would not work for me this year. I would have told my wife, she told me I could, but it was just a matter of I had way too much stuff happening and need to figure out how to make some money so I can fix my car.
Keep selling that farming equipment. Is that what you do? I can't remember.
Yeah, well, we do seed and we do planter upgrades and remodels, and that's the reason why I need a shop, is because I need a spot to work on that. But
Keep winning Tyler Bohannon's big money race.
that would be a
Did
good
well
start.
there.
I hope he does that again.
I think he will.
No, that was so yeah, all in all, that was my national event. You know, it was cool. Like they were you know, just the whole tech aspect. I think they actually pulled some cars in. It was fun to actually be a part of the whole deal. I mean, there was a lot of dead time, which I thought would be just mind-numbingly painful, but it wasn't bad at all. Like I said, I see now why the Holts do their hospitality side of things the way they do, because that really makes it go fast. If you can find them at the track, you're going to be entertained.
Yeah, downtime at a national event to me is not bad like it would be at maybe something else, at like a bracket race or a even a divisional. There's always people to talk to. There's always people to meet, and at like me going out to Indy, I mean, we were there for 5 days, and I lost on Thursday, I think it was, and I stayed till Saturday, and I was still having a blast walking around, meeting new people that I never, would normally meet at any other race that I go to. So yeah, nationals to me, they're the greatest. That's the whole reason I class race. I've never, kept that a secret. Like if nationals got taken away, my cars would be up for sale.
I will say another thing that I see more value in now too is this whole Drag Insights app. Like being able to get in there and play with that a little bit. Like I could see, when you show up at a place and you don't know who's there, like, our association races, it's the same 60, 70 cars all the time. You kind of know what guys are going to run. It's not that hard to go back and look at the data that you've collected because, you've run a lot of the people over time. And just to roll into somewhere new, pop open the app, look them up. You can see what their average lights are, what their average dial-ins are. Like that's a pretty cool deal that they got going there. There's a lot of value there. And anybody listening right now, like I said, if you reach out to the guys at Drag Insights and look at the demo on that thing, that's going to be kind of a game changer, I think, for people like myself, like, the travelers that have been everywhere and raced everybody. Like, you kind of, maybe it matters, maybe it doesn't, but it sure is cool just to see what kind of roll they're on. And, I even looked mine up, and of course I've got 4 total rounds, 0 rounds won, 0 win percentage. Like my NHRA schedule is pretty disastrous here, but
so it's accurate, you're telling me.
Yeah, I'm a big loser, so everybody's gonna look at me and be like, "Yeah, nothing to worry about there." But I mean, every GT,
you can fluff that up for you if you want for a fee,
Every GT, average reaction time, average dial-in. I mean, it's just, average qualifying. Like it's just really cool. You can even go back and look. I wish there was a good way to always show who I've raced, because you're like, I think I've raced that person and then it actually lists all that.
That's on there now. That should be. We just added that yesterday, I believe, your competition list. And now you can just sign in. You can just register. You don't have to email us anymore. The whole draginsights.com, just go to the login page and register for an account. That has all been set up.
Yeah, that's it's really cool. I wish there was a way we need to get our association races and that stuff in here. I understand the way bringing data in and stuff is tough that way, but I could see it definitely growing, big money bracket guys, that kind of stuff. There's a huge market there.
So Bobby, this weekend was special for you.
Oh, absolutely.
We have just a little bit we want to play here real quick. So,
oh boy.
Yeah, oh boy. Buckle up here.
And Bobby Fazio going to get the head start. 003 R.E.D. Fazio gets the win. As Jonathan Allegretti just flat couldn't wait. Come into a final round where both drivers are looking for their first. Fazio got away on the green. Alec Ritchie was 3 thousandths of a second too soon.
And for the first time ever, in his first final round, your super stock champion, another one of the local Pennsylvania boys. Welcome to the stage, Bobby Fazio. Hometown crowd, you got a big ovation. You come here with all your friends and family hanging out with you here in the winner's circle. You go to your first final, you pick up the win, and that's a tough race. You had that big old screaming V10 over there. You got that little itty-bitty pony back there, and you're able to hang on.
It was just an amazing feeling to do what I just accomplished. I spent so many birthdays blowing out candles, wishing to win the Keystone Nationals in that car in front of this crowd and to get interviewed like this. And I can't believe it's finally happening.
I love the emotion. He's crying up here. We love that. This is what we love about first-time winners at your home racetrack in that car, the emotion of this moment. What part of today will you remember the most?
Now, so I mean, it's a stick shift car. It's hard enough to win in as it is. And my mom's name is still on the side of that car. She passed away in 2005, and she was riding with me all weekend in that car. And I just felt her presence in there, and I can't believe when those wind lights just kept coming on, I knew she had something to do with it. So I got to thank my dad. My dad puts his heart and soul into that car, and he's working on it all the time. I don't live near him anymore, and so I don't even have a whole lot of time to help him. He provides me with such a well-equipped and prepped car. It's always running good. It's always safe. We build all of our engines, transmissions, rear ends. I would thank supporters if we had some, other than my friends and family. I mean, we do it all on our own and on a budget. So I got to thank my sister, my aunt, my sister Anita, my wife Kiana, who wasn't able to come today. She's working and not feeling well, and I really wish she could have been here with me. My grandfather, who's in the hospital right now, Joe, we're thinking about you and praying for you. That's it. I mean, my friends and family, Steve, my buddy. I have a lot of friends that came to the races for the first time this weekend. They had no idea that it was this easy to win. They think it just happens like this all the time.
You got a couple thousand of them in the stands now, too. Hey, how's that podcast going to be this week?
Oh, my God, I don't know. You might have to come on and interview me on there. But
We'll let Reinhardt do that.
ClassRacingToday.com. If you guys want to know about stock and super stock, I dedicate my life to spreading the word on stock and super stock, real muscle cars doing what they originally meant to do, wheel stands and screaming down the track.
Bobby Fazio for the first time, and he does it here at home.
How was that?
That was amazing. That was the dream, the whole reason I got into super stock and eventually stock was to win that race right there. That's it. Done.
So you're done.
Finished.
The pinnacle.
I don't have to race anymore. Nope. I don't know what to do now. I better take up fishing.
I got goosebumps just from watching it. Like, that's pretty cool.
My mouth was just motoring there. I didn't even know. I was just like, I wish I had time to prepare.
I'm surprised a guy as prepared as you are, like, you know, the math tutor, Mr. Analytical, like, you've got everything laid out. Like, I'm surprised you don't have, like, a pull-down, like, script already wrote out. Like, all right, we're going to win. Hang on. Like, I got a few notes here, and you show up with, like, a 75-page binder of, all right, hit all the bullet points, and I'm a little disappointed.
The funny thing is, yeah, I used to do that. Like, I used to, you know, when I would dream about winning that event, I used to be like, what if they interview me? What would I say? What would I say? I got to make sure I thank this person and that person. And then I got up there and all that was out the window. I was like, oh, man, I don't even know what to say.
You should have totally, hold on, I'm totally not prepared. Let me see.
Yeah. Let me find some notes here.
Right.
I'd like to thank my co-host for showing me what not to do. No. Oh, wait, I don't think you said anything about me. Man, I thought we were close.
Yeah, you know, I thought that too, but whatever.
It's okay. Next time I want a little shout out. Give me a shout.
All right.
Next
You got
time.
it. Well, yeah, you don't think he's done winning, do you?
Well, he said it's the pinnacle. He already reached the top.
Yeah, but he's like you know who else won all the time was Rocky. You know, it was a little slow start, but once he's in there, just bam, he's
Nice.
just smoking them down.
I wish it's actually be on the ball with that soundtrack, but that's all right. So a build up to that last race. What was that like? Were you in your head? Were you like, this could happen, or was it? Were you skeptical?
Once For me, usually once I get past like third round, I
Mhm.
think that's when the thoughts start. Is this could happen? Kind of starts creeping in.
Yeah.
Um, I was just, I've had 10 years of bad luck at that race. Like first round exits, second round exits. In 2019, which was the last time we had the race because it was canceled in 2020, I made it down to the final 8, the quarterfinals, and I went 5 thousandths red.
Hmm.
And in front of the crowd, and I was just like, oh, I blew my chance, again. This past weekend though was just the way things were falling in place for me, and like I almost feel guilty sometimes. Like, I don't have a great reaction time, and the other driver is just worse than I was, and I got by. Semifinal against Byron Warner, I'm 28, he's 006. I mean, I dialed up thinking I was, holding 2, and I kind of went into it where I had a feeling he was going to feed me the stripe. So I was just trying to keep my fender out in front of his nose. Those Camaros got that nose that dips down, and I was so worried about that damn thing tripping the beam. So he was coming up alongside of me. I could see that nose down already, and I was just kind of rubbing my brake pedal, just trying to stay out in front of him. And I did fourth out. I mean, he could have taken the stripe there and been safe on his dial. He was 006 on the tree. Like things were just falling my way. And even in stock, I was the first 2 rounds of stock, I had terrible lights, and I got by. I couldn't even make. So they gave us a 4th qualifying session on Friday morning, which is they've never done before. So everybody had another session Friday morning, hit the tree and get ready for eliminations that started Friday around 11 or 12 o'clock. I couldn't get the car I was driving in stock, couldn't get it started. Changing batteries, messing with the starter, messing with the solenoid, couldn't get the thing cranked up, and I had to miss the 4th qualifying session on Friday morning with that car. And the weather was so different than it was the day before that I needed that run. Everybody was picking up a tenth and a half. I mean, now I had to go in the first round blind in that car. So I actually, and I was a designated pair to make it worse because I qualified dead last because I was trying to avoid the other L cars there because I knew I didn't have a whole lot of power. I was driving a 65 Mustang, a friend of mine's 65 Mustang that he actually still has the license plate and inspection on. He drives the car on the street. So it's a really cool car. Yeah. And so we qualified dead last, much to his dismay. I kept telling him, "Don't worry, I got a plan here," because I know he wasn't too thrilled about me shutting the car off at 1,000 foot, going down the track all the time. And we couldn't make that 4th qualifying session where I was going to make my move, and I was stuck as dead last, and I had to be the designated pair. So I got up there to run first round, blind using my weather calculations. But Pete Oakes, who drives a wagon, Shane Oakes' father, I saw him up there. He was a designated pair, and I just said, "Pete, I missed that qualifying session. Is there anything you can tell me, how fast or was it?" And he told me how much faster he went. I took that into consideration. I put a number on the window. I had a better light than my opponent. I drove the stripe well, and I got through that first round. And when that happened, I was just like, wow. Right before that round, there was a Racers for Christ chaplain standing up there, and I told that gentleman, "I'm having a hell of a day. Can we get a prayer going here or what?" So he put his arm around me. We bowed our heads and we prayed for, me to make some good decisions and give me some wisdom and let me just, let if God sees fit that I can get through this day, let it happen. And he did. And I was fortunate to go first and second round, win both rounds in both cars. And like I said, my lights in stock I was like 40 something and I was 70 something. And it was always, I was 70 something and my opponent was 90 something. And that's how I got through second round.
Wow.
It was crazy. And then the next day we had third round and I had a matchup against the Copo. Now I'm going 12, 20, and the Copo was going 940, I think, or 920. I got a 3-second head start. And there I was 010 on the tree. And the Copo, Phil Langford, 3 seconds later was 010 on the tree. And I took the stripe by 11 thousandths or something. So it was just, things were going my way until the fourth round. I got stuck in that heads up I was trying to avoid. And we did everything we could. Quick turnaround times, though. When I was up there in super stock, they were giving final call for stock. And when I was up there in stock, they were giving final call for super stock. So I didn't have time to do anything. They held the show up for me 2 times, where they didn't run any cars down the track because they were waiting for Fazio to get back up to the lanes. So I really got to thank NHRA and the lanes workers for working with me and, let me make those runs. But that fourth round heads up, I did have a 15 light, and the other guy was 90, but rightfully so because he knew he had me covered. And we gave him a run for his money. He didn't pass me till like 8th mile, and he had me by like a car length at the finish line. But I might have had 265 Mustangs going into Sunday, which would have just been unreal, and definitely unreal by, for me to be in 2 cars on Sunday. I would have lost my mind. I probably wouldn't have slept 2 minutes.
You should have talked to the chaplain the day before instead of in the lanes.
Well, he kept checking on me then after that. He kept seeing me up in the lanes again, and he was just like giving me the nod, like, hey, I guess our little prayer, worked. Keep it going. Keep it going. And then Sunday, when he saw me, he was like, wow, that's amazing. I wish I could remember his name. And then Sunday before the final round, that was crazy. Just when I got past Warner, that's when I knew this. That's when I was like, wow, this could actually happen. But Allegrucci was 00 all the time. There was a vote on Facebook, which I can't believe, on is Final Four who you got, and 80 people voted for Warner, and I would have thought 50 people for Oaks, 40 people for Allegrucci, and maybe 10 people for me just because they like Fords. And I was surprised when I saw 80 people for Warner and like 40 something people for me and 20 something people for Oaks and only 6 people for Allegrucci, which is crazy because I've never beat Allegrucci. He's a good driver. His car is like unbelievably like consistent. It's one of them V10 drag pack challengers. I was not looking forward to racing him. I was kind of hoping Oaks would win that round because I think Oaks's car is a little bit slower and I wouldn't be getting chased as hard.
I find it amazing 40 people like Ford. But go back to Warner. Like, that dude was on fire. I mean, 001, second round. He was 003, third round. I mean, let's see. Yeah, he was 22, fourth round, but he's got to back down.
And they have that horrible 22 light against Anthony Bertozzi. I can't believe it.
Like 006 against you. I mean, Warner was ripping down the tree like that.
I tried to take him out of his element. I mean, you can't do that to the Warners. Like they're pros. I mean, I was doing everything I can. I mean, I obviously I go into every round knowing everything about everyone, and I knew I had to win that coin toss because I wanted that left lane. I'm pretty sure he probably wanted it too. He was in it 6 times leading up to that, and it didn't phase him an inch. I mean, 006. Like I was hoping maybe he would go red over there. Maybe he would be 30 or something, something bad by his standards. And me, when I left, I thought, maybe I was 20. I was trying to be like 10 against him.
Well, he did kind of miss it. He was 6.
Yeah.
You can't phase those Warners. They're like Superman. They're just bulletproof. That part's pretty cool. And
he's passionate. They're passionate racers. We got down there. They do contingency now after the semifinal. So after I won that semifinal, they weighed me and they pulled me over. They pulled us all over to check our stickers, and I didn't know that they did that right there. And I could tell. He was upset, but we shook hands and he congratulated me on the win. And then after he told me, you better go out there and win this whole thing now, because I just, I just had a 006 light against you, pal. And by all standards here, that should have been my round. And a 4th stripe margin down there. But yeah, after I won the whole thing, he and his brother both, they both congratulated me, and they stopped. They were leaving. They were on their way out. They stopped. They pulled over at the top of the lanes there, and got out of their vehicles and came over and shook my hand, gave me a hug, and congratulated me. And I appreciated it. I really did. So I'm sure they'll go down to Charlotte. That's their track. They own that place. One of them will win down there. I'm predicting it right now.
All I know is you've been lying to me for 33 episodes now, saying slow cars can't win, slow cars can't win, blah, blah, blah. You were the slow car every single round.
Well, look how well you did in that wagon.
So, how did you, see, look at the advantage of the red light. You take advantage of your opponents with the slower car. Car leaves, they flinch, boom. So I don't want to hear any more of this slow car baloney that, slow cars can't win, or I'm going to go fly Jody Lang over there to slap you.
Yeah, right. Yeah, well, I really do think it's so funny because my friend Todd Hoven, who drives a 65 Coronet in AA stock automatic, and he was on a tear there. He won the Maple Grove Divisional. He went out to Indy, and he run it up there, and he went deep rounds at this race. He is always telling me, race that super stock car. You drive that car well. Get out of that damn stocker, he always says. Stop wasting your time in that car. Focus on this car. And I'm always telling him, it's a clutch car. It's not, what am I doing? Air shifted, trans brake, super stock cars. I mean, we go out there, so people can take pictures of the car, and we do, we try to win, but it's not feasible. It's not logical. And God damn, he was right. So I do want to focus more on this super stock car. It's got areas where it can improve. We are in the stone age when it comes to our clutch setup, our launch RPM. Nobody does it this way anymore. We leave at a high RPM and pull the motor down. Nowadays, cars are, stick cars leave at a low RPM and let the counterweights and the clutch setup pull the motor up like an automatic does when it hits the converter. I mean, we are just, there's a lot of areas that we can improve that car. And now it's like, well, what the hell do I do? I'm driving it well. I just, won. Now you've got to go change the whole car. Like, I don't know. The motor is a little tired though. I think it's time for that to come out. It needs to be refreshed.
Just keep driving it. Win, 3 or 4 more this year, and
I'm so mad at myself with that contingency though. Like I said on Flash News the other night, I don't know why I couldn't find. I think I was just too excited, shaking. Family ran down and was talking to me. The NHRA guy took over. He said, "You want me to do it for you?" And I said, "Yes." And he was rattling off. He said, "All right, this one." I was like, "Yep, sticker right there. This one, sticker right there." I remember saying, I'm like, I have K&N oil filters right here, and I got it on the car. Why can't I find it on there? And then I even said it on Flash News. I was like, man, I didn't see K&N oil filters on there. Well, here they sent me my copy of the contingency yesterday, and there's K&N oil filters right on there. I don't know how I missed the box. I hope my dad's not watching this because that's $300 that we just lost out on. And I emailed NHRA. I sent them pictures of the car. I said, look, here's a picture from Thursday. Here's a picture from Sunday. The sticker's on there. The filter's on there. The filter's still on there. The car's still in the trailer because I haven't even gotten it out yet. I can take a picture. And they said, no, we can't verify it. We can't honor it now. So if anybody knows who I can hit up at K&N and beg and plead, maybe they could help me out on that. I'd appreciate it.
Well, for next time.
For next time.
Well, it's not that hard, right? You just show up and do it. Like,
yeah, that's what my friends that came for the first time, they just kept seeing the wind light come on. They were like, this is cool. Is there another one of these next week? Like, what's going on? Yeah. And I'm like, dude, it doesn't always work like this, but I'm glad you're here. Maybe you guys are good luck. Maybe you need to come all the time.
So how often did you check your air pressure?
Oh man, me. I check it. I'm just like doing merry-go-round around the car. Check, 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 check. Then it's time to roll down. Dad, here's the gauge. You check him again.
I think your advantage was with 2 cars, you were too busy to get in your head. Didn't have time to mess with it. Just get in and drive.
Yeah, definitely true on Saturday morning because they ran those 2 rounds of us. I ran third round of super stock at 10:15. I ran fourth round of super stock at 10:50. So that means I ran stock in there 2 times, and one of them was a heads up. So they gave us, they were just, I was literally running, sprinting out of one car, take the helmet, take the jacket, take the pants, take the dial marker, get into the other car. Hurry up, put the battery charger on that, the fan on that, cool it down, get in the other car. Didn't even have time to enter the run in the computer and download the data or anything like that. I just had to get up there and get ready for a heads up. I had Kyle Corr's father, I believe his name's Dennis. Dennis Corr was pitted behind me. Kyle got best appearing car in a really nice, geez, now I can't even, what is it, a Dodge Dart, I think. And his father, Dennis Corr, was helping us. He saw that we had the heads up. We were trying to get something done there. And he came over and was giving us a hand, and I appreciated that. So thank you, Dennis Corr and the Corr family, and congratulations on your best appearing car. That thing is gorgeous. I saw it on TV. They put that on the Fox coverage the other day when they were showing the pros, and that was really cool.
Well, it was fun to watch. It was cool. I'm really, really happy for you, dude. That was awesome. I don't know. It's fun to get back in this studio here and get together, and we got a pretty good lineup of guests, so it's gonna be fun. Now you have something in common with the people we're talking to. I'll just have to take your guys' word for it. Is it hard to sleep with the Wally under your neck, or are you more still like cradling it in your arms when you sleep at night, or?
It's a heavy Wally, man. It wasn't. That thing is like a 15-pound kettlebell. It was pretty cool. I let Dad keep that one though. That one's at his house. I got my class Wally right here though. You can kind of see it on the back because I won class too on Thursday. I was the only stick shift car. They couldn't even find me somebody to throw in a combo with.
Wait, so you won by default?
I won by default. I had a bye run in class eliminations.
Wow.
So I got a class Wally and another contingency form. That confused me also because I didn't think they paid contingency for class other than Indy and Gainesville and the Jeg Sports Nationals. So when I saw that, I was like, sick. Like Ford was on there, VP was on there, and Moser Axel was on there. And maybe, I don't know, it was like 3 or 4. So that would be, a nice little extra $300 or $400 too.
This winning thing is strange, new uncharted territory for us.
You're telling me. I couldn't even fill out a damn contingency form. That's how uncharted it was for me.
Just have them all
pre-made. All you gotta do is check boxes off and look for the sticker. And my hand was shaking. My legs were shaking. The poor guy had to come over and help me.
Well, it was awesome. Like I said, good job. You'll get your CRT contingency someday if we ever come up with one. So
yes, and I do want to come up with one because did you guys notice that Matt Lisa, when he was in the final of stock at the U.S. Nationals, the camera was zoomed in on his CRT sticker on his back window, and then like panned out to show the final? I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, it was awesome. What's up for when's your next race?
That is a good question. I want to go to the Dutch Classic is this weekend, which is a big national open at Maple Grove. And this is probably the first time I won't be able to make it since I've been racing. And it's a race that's been pretty good to me. I won it 2 times, but I don't have enough time to get the car kind of maintenanced and checked before it. And I want to go to Virginia next weekend. We have a double divisional. We have one Thursday and Friday, and then another one Saturday and Sunday. However, there's a big family wedding on Saturday up here in Pennsylvania. So I think, I might get down there and run the Thursday, Friday, and then have to leave for the Saturday, Sunday race. But I'm planning on Virginia. And I don't think I'll be racing any more national events this year. But I will be traveling to a couple. I think I'm going to go out to the Vegas race or maybe the Bristol race. I want to go out and keep spreading the word on our podcast and keep meeting people and talking to people. I had such a blast doing that out in Indy, And national events are the best way to network and meet new people, meet vendors, manufacturers, potential sponsors. So those are my plans for the rest of this year. Next year, I might try and run, I don't know, run for points. I'll put together a schedule and see if it's feasible, see if we can, make it to enough races to try and finish in a top 10, or maybe finish in top 10 in the division.
We've got kind of stinks me. I'm not going to make it now with no car, but we actually have our big Make-A-Wish race at my home track here at Thunder Valley this weekend, where they do proceeds go to help with the Make-A-Wish, and it was really cool. The last pre-COVID, the kids would come out and sit in the cars and do just do a parade lap down the track and just see the kids around with the cars. It was that was always a really cool event, and I'm not gonna be able to make it this year, so I think I'm gonna take since I'm done for the year, I'm gonna miss out. So we have, let's see, what do we have? We had Thunder Valley this weekend. Next weekend, St. Louis National. October 2nd, it's the last MCR race currently at Kearney, Nebraska. So that's two. The Ottawa race, which I was excited to go to. They're having, I think their lease is up on their track, so that race, I guess they're trying to reschedule it, find a different place to go with it, but I think I might pitch in my $100 entry fee for the last 3 races that I'm not going to make, and I'll have to figure out who's going to get that this weekend. I might have to throw a bounty on someone just to feel like I'm still there. But kind of sad. The Ottawa racetrack is a really cool spot. The lease is expired on that. Didn't run through the end of the season, so they're trying to get something there. But we just don't need to lose any more racetracks. So just, if you guys are by a racetrack, just go. Like, if you got a chance, go support them, and we got to keep this thing going.
That's generous of you. Yeah, definitely. I like that idea.
It was a donation anyways, so I might as well try to put it on. I got to look up who won last year both days. Maybe I can figure that out.
Yeah, do the bounty.
But we got some good guests lined up. I'm excited for next week. We're going to keep them hanging here, but we're definitely back on track and got some good guests lined up. And now that our racing is going to wind down here a little bit and schedules are going, it'll be we got a good lineup planned for everybody that's listening. So it's going to be you have to stay tuned.
I know. I'm kind of sad that there's a national event in Charlotte this weekend. My race will be forgotten by tomorrow. I haven't ruled out driving down there either because, like I said, I want to keep going to these national events and networking, and I might need a parking pass. Warners, you guys got 2 cars. Let me have one of those parking passes, will you? And somebody, let me have a crew pass.
Nice. All right. Well, it was fun to get the recap of your historic weekend. That's awesome. Good work. Don't forget, if you would like a t-shirt or stickers, you can get a hold of us at classracingtoday@gmail.com. We'll get that out to you. Also, Brian talked about it a little bit, and Bobby, draginsights.com for all your race information. Check it out. Any last thoughts from you gentlemen before we wrap this show up? Nothing?
That's it.
Really?
I've talked enough. I'm still living my dream week here. So
hey, that's awesome.
One of these days I got to get back to regular life,
Nice. Brian?
No, just keep fighting the good fight, I guess. It'll be fun. Go out and support your tracks, and the rest of us will be working and preparing for next year.
Excellent. ClassRacingToday.com. Share this out to all your friends and enemies, perhaps. Brian Warner commented, you got a participation award. Excellent. Good work. Thanks for listening. Thanks for staying with us for this episode of Class Racing Today. ClassRacingToday.com. Check us out on the social medias. Have a wonderful day. We will see you next week as we get back into this schedule. Have a good day. Bye.